Hello and welcome. We're going into another video. This video, we're going to talk about the new news that dropped today, which is the new fusion and the summoning event for this week. And I'll start by the fusion because actually there is lots of things we need to talk about in this fusion. This fusion, I would say, spoilers alert, do not skip. And why? For multiple reasons. This guy is probably one of the best overall champions, a champion that you can use literally anywhere and in any content, and he's so freaking versatile. Like, you can use this guy as a decreased defense, as a block debuff champion, as a nuker, of course after we see the multipliers. But in the meantime, let's just read this kit and we'll talk about it. Attack one enemy 3 times each hit, has 75% chance, goes to 100 of removing one random buff from the target. That means you can remove up to 3 buffs. Each hit also will ignore 20% of the target defense. So if you build this guy in Savage, that's 30%, and you have 20 here, that's 50% guaranteed. If you have Cat Gaze, which, well, technically he's an HP champion, so you don't use Cat Gaze on him, but there is something we will talk about later. But that's pretty decent, probably one of the best A1s that you could have on a nuker without even looking at the multipliers. His A2 attack, all enemies before attack in place, increase accuracy. I wonder why. On all allies, why? Usually I hate it when it says on all allies, because that means this ability will not hit hard. I mean, we don't know yet, but usually when the champion does everything on all allies, that means that the ability is basically a support ability, not a nuking ability. Attack all enemies for attack in place, increase accuracy on all allies for 2 turns. Then has 75% chance, goes to 100 on a 4-turn cooldown, that goes to 3. Placing decreased defense and block buffs. And this is actually the main reason that I am going for him. I need a decreased defense champion for the faction hard. And if we go to the faction, like the dwarf faction here, there is no champion that I have that does decreased defense except this epic Fodbar. And if you guys use Fodbar, you would know that his stats is not enough to survive against faction hard. He is so squishy, even that if you have him fully awakened, fully empowered, he will die to 1 hit. So now we have a better option, which is a legendary HP champion. Dude, he looks so sick as well. And something to mention here, usually like when we get a fusion nukers, they don't, like, the books don't give too much value when it comes to damage, but we can see that you get 20% more damage value on the ability. I'm expecting this ability to be a normal ability, like 0.3 multiplied by, sorry, 0.24, that's what they usually get. 0.24 of the champion's HP. But remember, there is decreased defense, so if you land the decreased defense, this 0.24 will hit hard. Now, this is the signature ability. I'm not sure if it's the signature ability or the passive is the signature ability. So, attack one enemy for attack and remove all debuffs from this champion and place 15% shatter buff and 30% increase crit damage. Now, they are trying to solve a problem that we've ever had. We've had so long, which is increase attack, increase the attack nukers damage, increase defense, increase the defense nukers damage. But for HP champions, we don't have. So what they did with Taurus, they made Taurus gain more multipliers by having more buffs. And what they did with Narcissus, they made him ignore defense and double hit. Similar to Magnet, they made him double hit so he can do damage. But with this guy, they are giving him a 15% shatter buff. Now, this shatter buff is basically a free Savage gear. Okay, let's just go and read about it. Where is Shatter? It's supposed to be at the end because it's a newly added, right? Yeah. Increase the damage, ignore defense by 7.5 or 15%. So technically, this is a 15% ignore defense buff. So remember that his A1 that does 50 if you have him in Savage. Now you add 15 more, so you have 65 ignore damage just by having only a Savage gear. We're not talking about relic, we're not giving him like some insane type of relics, you know. We're just literally by his kit. And then there is increased crit damage on all allies for 2/8. The shatter buff on all allies, so this guy is gonna come into your team and amplify the damage of the total of everyone in your team. So if you use him, I would say let's assume Chimera. Every one of your champions will ignore defense. Every one on your champions will have increased accuracy. So they are trying to make him some sort of an HP version of Marius, except that Marius is A3. It decrease the decrease the duration of the old buffs, while like he only steal one buff each time on a triple hit. So this is a fusion form of a defense version of Marius, I would say. Now here is the sick part. Ignore unkillable stone skin block damage buff. If the target is not under any of these buffs, the attack will deal 100% more damage. So we're talking about King Nazi's level type of damage. But this is a single target ability, which means whoever you're gonna target, if they don't have these buffs, they will get killed. Okay, he will nuke them. Demolisher blow. He will blow them, then demolish, you know? Demolish, then blow. That's a sick name on an ability. So if they have unkillable block damage and stone skin, he will simply ignore 65% of their defense, right? Because that's how his kit with a savage gear, and there is increase into crit damage, and he will do so much damage. Ignore all of these immunity damage buffs, and then if they don't have it, he is gonna this attack will deal 100% more damage. So this is damage amplification, which means it stacks with stuff like if you coordinate, stacks with Nature's Wrath, stacks with, like by stack I mean it also add to the multiplier, which means if you have a Zeal gear, if you have 2 Zeal pieces, if you coordinate, Nature's Wrath, they will add up with those to make this ability literally does insane amount of damage. Then it grants an extra turn if this kills an enemy. It will kill an enemy, trust. I think he is pretty insane so far. Like this is a must-do fusion for multiple reasons so far. Number one, he's from a faction where I need a decreased defensive champion. He's a nuker that ignores stone skin, block damage, and unkillable, which usually you don't find all of that in one champion. The only champion that has all of these is Georgid. Iyasu does not ignores the stone skin, but does not ignore block damage or unkillable. He's one of very few, if not one of... He's one of very few champions in the entire game that does this kit. So, do not skip this champion. Now look at his passive. At the start of the champion zone, remove any fear, true fear, provoke, stun, freeze, sleep, petrification from this champion. I don't like this because we're getting to a point where like they give us so many champions that are immune to CC. Like we have Fabian, we have the chicken mythical, and now we have Granyt Doorkeeper. Yeah, Granyt Doorkeeper. And now we have this guy that you cannot CC. So are they trying to devalue the CC champions? I don't know. But I am happy that I'm getting this fusion as I'm happy that I'm getting this fusion as a some sort of guaranteed, you know? Because if you do the fusion, you will get him. Increase the damage oh my god. Increase this champion's damage against the target with no buffs on them by 20%. So this ability right here, at one point, if you have if you coordinate, that's 30%. Okay, then if those 30% goes through the books, the multipliers, goes through the masteries, and then you have 100%, like this, 100% deal more damage. And then there is 20%. And on top of that, you're ignoring so much defense. This champion is gonna hit like a truck, even in Hydra. Like this is some Teox type of damage you're gonna see on this ability. So that's as far as the fusion. So guys, I don't recommend you skip it. I think this is a must-do champion because you don't want to be the guy who okay, this champion will be the type of champion you first pick in library, and you don't want to be the guy who can't pick him. So good luck if you are chasing this champion. And now let's move into the next news, which is the summoning event this weekend that we have. It's basically this Friday. There is 2 events, okay? 1 second. It is 2 events. Number 1, 2x summoning for legendary champions from Void Shard. So we have 2x Void, okay? Keep that in mind. And also there is a 10x Leo. So am I going to be pulling for that? Well, to answer this question, I skipped the summoning last week, which means I have to do the summoning this week. But there is a problem, which is if I go to my Mercy, I am 145. So I can pull up to 49 shards without ruining my Mercy. So hopefully, if I pull a mythical, it's going to be a Leo. Otherwise, I hope I don't pull a mythical, a void champion. Sorry, I said a mythical. I meant void legendary, because I do want to save this mercy for a good or a better event. Because Leo, I mean, everyone is saying that Leo is coming as a guaranteed champion, so I don't want to miss on that. But also, have 70 shards, so nobody knows. We still don't know. So if you want to pull, I don't know what to tell you, but all I can tell you is that we have a fusion that will be hard to get, because the fusion is good, which means it's going to be hard to get. So try to save as much resources as possible. And speaking of saving resources, I think yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.